Okay, folks, Andrew Brobros here. I'm going to do a quick video talking about one linebacker free agent that I think the Chargers could go after with all the available dollars that we do currently have, especially if we let Joey Bosa walk. I want to discuss about the entire linebacker room in general. What your thoughts are on this? Do we need a veteran like this? He's going to cost a little bit of money. So, a lot to discuss here on this one, guys. We're going to talk about the linebacker room today and as it stands now and what we should do in free agency. So, guys, let's get Okay, folks, as always, like and subscribe if you do enjoy the content. I'm Andrew Bopros. And again, I want to get your opinion on this because I do think this is a bit of a controversial topic, but we all know we got a stud linebacker in Deion Henley. We know this. Again, Bopros and all the fans wanted to see Deion when BS and Ron Tabasco were running the show, but unfortunately they were too stupid to put him on the field. We saw what he could do. His first full season as a linebacker in the NFL, dude is a stud, sideline to sideline, absolutely incredible in coverage. Does a great job. I think it was like 7 or 8 games in a row where he had 10 tackles. I mean, unbelievable. So this young man's talent is just through the roof. So happy with him. Don't need to talk about him anymore at this point, but my goodness, I just could not be happier with him as a linebacker for this team. One guy that's a little bit tough to gauge at the moment, I think why this conversation matters now, is Junior Colson. Now, we didn't really see Junior Colson because Junior Colson had injuries. If you recall, at camp, he suffered from an appendix injury. So he had his appendix removed, right? So he couldn't get on the field. I think he was out for like almost a month. So he really didn't get his feet underneath him. And I think it's a big part of camp. This is why a lot of rookies struggle their first years because they don't quite grasp it in camp. They can't really move forward. Now, the argument is that Junior Colson already knows this defense because of his time in Michigan. Having said that, it's very different from college to the pros. You know that. I know that. Junior knows that now. Again, he wants to play, but you got someone like a Denzel Perryman who's an excellent linebacker and understands the system like this as well too. But my question to you is Junior the next guy? Do we need a veteran or do we not need a veteran? To me, this guy is the factor. He's the it factor and really determining whether or not we go after this veteran linebacker. I'm going to tell you who that is in a second. I personally think Junior could do it, but I think it's a bit of a risk. I think it's nice to have another veteran presence in the linebacker room. And I just don't know if Junior's 100% ready. Again, it takes a little while for these guys to get their feet wet. Junior got it. I mean, he's got all the talent in the world, but we didn't quite see it. Couldn't evaluate him. That's probably the better way to say it. So I want to hear your thoughts on Junior moving forward because he's really the main point of conversation here. Now, as you guys all know, especially if you listen to my safety video, I like to see a veteran presence right now. And right now, Troy Dye is the guy we have to bring back in the linebacker room. Cheap, inexpensive, plays special teams, does it all, and can fill in gaps, right? And that's the whole point, right? Troy Dye is the perfect example of not having the splashy player, but good players, right? Troy Dye is a very good linebacker, right? Again, but is he the best in coverage? No. Is he the best in run stopping? No. But he's good. He does a good job. He'll eat up minutes, eat up time. Injuries start happening. Troy can step in. So I'm a big believer in having depth. It's a big part of the conversation. Again, you always want to have an all-star team, right? But at the end of the day, you got to go with what you can get and what you can afford moving forward. Especially if we're going to make some big splash players on, wide receivers, maybe a center, maybe a right guard. Probably can get a little chintzy, in the linebacker room to some degree. But let's talk a little bit more about that as well, too. So the next guy that I want to talk about, I think this guy is really the big question, right? Do we bring Denzel Perryman back? Now, I'm not quite sure. I think he does want to come back from what I can hear and what I've heard from at the end of the season. I assume they might bring him back for one more year. Now, whether they do it or not is really it's going to be interesting to see because I do believe that we'll probably sign him for what I was seeing anywhere from $3 to $4 million. You're like, it's a lot of money. Having said that, it's large because he's been a great veteran, but he's been a great veteran presence in this locker room. He's done a great job. Now, is he the future of this position for the Chargers? The answer is absolutely no. You know that. I know that. He knows that. He's at the very end of his career. I think he's 32 years old now. And this is the second time with the Chargers. Again, he did a great job. Unfortunately for him, he was banged up a little bit this last season. It was really tough for him to really stay on the field, as we all know. But again, we are really thin in inside linebacker. Now, the thing about Denzel Perryman, though, he's great at the run, bad at coverage, right? So going back to the very first linebacker we talked about, Deion Henley, great at coverage, right? That's the whole point. And he's very good at stopping the run, great coverage. And see, and that's really in the NFL, you kind of need to do both. That's the hybrid linebacker approach, right? Is really where Deion's going to be a little bit more of like a larger safety or a Derwin James for that matter, right? But so much bigger an ability to stop the run, put some of these running backs on the ground, and also keep the running quarterback in the pocket. And we all know Patrick Mahomes is in our division, so that does matter to us because we play him twice a year. But again, what do you guys think about Denzel Perryman? Should we bring him back, or should we go after this veteran that I think could be good, but could be a little expensive for what I think we want to pay? But I want to hear your thoughts on this. So from the Niners, our boy, well, I shouldn't say our boy, Dre Greenlaw. And the thing about Dre is he's one of those guys that is very good at kind of doing it all. Much older linebacker than Deion Henley, much older than Junior Colson. That's my point. I think Junior Colson could be a Dre Greenlaw, but are we willing to take that risk? That's the question. I mean, I promise you right now, that's exactly what this coaching staff and Joe Ortiz are thinking. Okay, do we think Junior can do the job? Or do we want to go get a veteran that can do that job and give Junior a little more time to develop and grow? That's the real question. Now, let's talk about how much money that is potentially going to be, dished out. So right now, signing a player like Greenlaw would make sense. Sport Track is projected a market value for an affordable $6.7 million annually. Now, I do believe Denzel Perryman is going from $3 to $4 million. So for a little bit more money, you can get a really good linebacker that can kind of do it all, and he's a veteran, right? Now, again, Junior's already been with Denzel Perryman, but Dre Greenlaw might give them a little bit of a different choice, right? Could see things a little bit differently. Now, the biggest problem with him is this. He missed nearly all of the 2024 season, recovering from a torn Achilles suffered in the Super Bowl. Really tough. So you have to ask yourself this question. Is he worth it? Again, he's a 5th-round pick out of Arkansas in 2015, 455 career tackles, and really arguably one of the most versatile linebackers in the league. But the question is, torn Achilles, injuries. Now, again, we all know it's a violent sport. You can't plan for injuries, but at the end of the day, $6.7 million annually is a lot of money. Bring someone like Denzel Perryman back, run it back one more year with the linebackers that I just showed you. Could be a good thing as well, too. So, again, I like the concept of going after a different type of veteran, but I worry about the dollars we'd have to dish out. And is he really going to be that much of an upgrade with the injuries he's had in the past? And that's really the discussion that we had with the Bull Pros today. So let me wrap up and land my plane, guys, okay? Kyle was like, he's had some injuries. I don't know about that, blah, blah, blah. Let's just bring Denzel Perryman back. James was like, well, look, Denzel Perryman's really bad at stopping the pass, good stopping the run, and he's had injuries as well, too. I'm a little bit in the middle. I'm kind of one of those guys that thinks Junior Colson could make that next step moving forward. Again, I go back to what happened to Junior Colson. Junior Colson was injured in camp. He was out for almost a month. And I really felt like he never got his feet underneath him and was never able to fully progress. So that's kind of my take. I almost think you just roll the dice and roll with Junior Colson and Deion Henley. They're going to be our future anyways. And you could save the $6.7 million and maybe go get a wide receiver or somebody else, a mid-tier something, maybe a good running back and go from there. But or maybe just a really good cornerback, somebody else, or maybe a couple of defensive linemen in the veteran room. I guess to me, I think the Junior Colson things makes a little more sense because he's going to be our future anyways. Throw him in there. Baptism by fire, right? So I want to hear your thoughts. I think James, myself, and Kyle all have different opinions. I think we should go with Colson. Kyle thinks we should re-sign Denzel Perryman. And James seems to really think that we should just sign Greenlaw. So what do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. As always, Andrew Bopros. See you guys in the next one.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here watching Bolt Bros podcast. Let's go.
Charged up, Bolt Bros on the night.